Yes, people, I hope you're doing good. Before we get into the video, I just want to let you know that all my sample packs are available via the link in the bio. Use code YouTube20 for 20% off everything. Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go through how to sort of like transform your loop from a cool drum groove into um, like a more complex groove that you can then sort of make into a track. Now, the first way basically I get my ideas down is I'll save an old project file and then I'll remove everything apart from the effects, which I keep quite similar on most of my tracks. So with these effects, what I can do is I can create a drum groove like this one. I can mute everything else, but I can put my effects that I've used in my previous track that I like in my new track, and then I can see how this is going to sound when it drops to get a vibe as to whether it's got that punchiness to it, whether it'll sound cool after a break. So I'll just show you now. Okay, so that's a pretty cool way of just trying to see if the drum groove that you've created is sort of like working in like a breakdown environment. If you listen to just this section here on repeat or wherever you start your tracks, then it could be quite difficult to work out whether the drums or the track have really got that vibe to it where it is going to work. So yeah, just creating the first draw and seeing how it's going to work once you've done like your breakdown can really help you decide whether your drums might need more or you might need to add something additional into the track that you're creating. And the other thing I wanted to go through, and probably the main thing around this video, is adding like musical elements into the track. So with this track, I started with the kick, then put my drums in, then created this bass. Which has obviously got sort of like that mid-range in it, so it's adding um like a little bit of like a musical element to track anyway. So what I've done is I've got a sub bass here and then some like mid range coming through here. And there is some variation in the actual pattern as well, especially on the mid range. So once you've got the bass in, you've been working on your drop a little bit, so you've got your effects in. It's then time to add the sort of like memorable moment into your track. So there's two things that I've done here is I've got this, it's actually a percussion element, but it sounds more like a music element. So once you add that in to the groove as well. And then you're looking for some sort of musical element that's going to be in your break to give it a bit of character. So with this, I found this loop. When you add this in, and then I'll play you the break with and without the synth. And then to add the continuation of this into the main part of the track so that it doesn't feel like out of place, I've then got it at a lower volume, 10 dB lower, actually playing in the track as well. So when it drops, it's still So now I'm going to play you that section of the track, but without those synth elements in. It's still a solid groove, it's a solid track, but it's not got that sort of character or that memorable moments. It's more of a groove than it is an actual song. So yeah, these are really important to add into your track to really take it to that next level. These loops, a lot of time in lessons, people say like where do you get them from? This one was, I think, off Loop Cloud, but just sample packs, searching, and also like creating some of your own sounds as well. Like I've got a chord in here. But yeah, just use synths, just have a play around, and yeah, or use one shots as well and write them in MIDI. You can also like cut up samples. So as you can see, the synth loop is in like a majority of the track now. So it's coming in the break here. It's then in the main part. It's then back in the breakdown and then comes in again. So to make it sort of keep it interesting, I've also added this like lead synth. So I'll just play the whole, and this is what I mean when I say just get these samples from like anywhere and just make the most of stuff. So this is what this sounds like as a whole loop. Then when you cut it down to this, and you play it in the groove. So yeah, you just need to basically get these sounds from anywhere. Just even if you hear like the slightest little sound in a whole loop, just cut that out and get creative with it. One more thing as well is we've also got this noise on the drop. Again, this is just for those transitions. You'll hear me talk a lot in these videos around the transition from the drop to the break and make sure that it all sounds cohesive and part of the same track. So I'll just play you the break with that in it as well. And then in the break, we've got this chord coming in. So that's it all together on the main break. And then when you take those sips out, this is how it sounds. Like I say, it's still solid, but it's nothing compared to when you've got all these different musical elements coming into the track at different times and adding that variation to it. So just to sort of recap on the video, make sure yeah, that your drum groove itself is like working in like a breakdown scenario. So maybe try and use some effects that you know work in your tracks, and just keep them in and delete everything else in the project, and then just write your groove around them effects, and you can just sort of swap in sounds in and out just to see what's going to be working, like could work in the club. And then the most important thing is make sure you're adding like musical elements into your track to make it um transform from like a groove to like an actual track, like a song with like character in, because that's what's going to be the difference with the bigger labels is that side of things. As always, if you got any questions, just drop them in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you as soon as possible.